people to come in. Hi. I'm gonna give it a moment for some people to come in. Hi guys. 1 second, I'll be right back. Hey guys. What's up? Can you hear me okay? Can you guys hear me? I'm Aphrodite Rose Starfire. Welcome to my channel. Thank you. Please let me know if I start to get buffery, because then I can move to a different spot. Hi Peyton. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, so I wanted to do an update on James Munder and everything that's been going on. Again, I'm Aphrodite Rose Starfire. I want to thank all my new subs. I got a lot of new subs based on my James Munder videos, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. I feel like I've kind of been the only one like really investigating James's untimely death, and so last night Haze, James Munder's best friend who's handling his affairs right now, he did a live stream, and I recorded most of it. I wanted to upload it to YouTube like I have been, but my phone doesn't have enough storage on it for me to like upload it. So I'm just gonna talk about it and upload the edited video enhanced or volume enhanced video of Haze later on. But basically the live stream last night of Haze's, I asked him about his rings and if he was a Freemason. He initially misunderstood me and thought that I asked if those are Masonic rings, and he read it as is it Munder's rings, and he thought I was asking if it was James' rings. But they're Versace rings. He's like Versace vandal, so he's like really into Versace. He ignored my Freemason question right away, but then later in the live stream I asked him again, and he said no, he's not a Freemason. That he's been in federal prison, he's been in jail a bunch of times, and even though he's friends with cops all across the country. So long story short, Haze ended up praying for me and forgiving me and saying, first he shamed me for posting his, you know, edited video, volume enhanced videos, and then he said that he realizes that I'm a truther, and that he talked to Kay Smalls, who's also James's friend, and I guess Kay Smalls and Tiffany have been helping Haze mitigate the waters. So there's a lot of new details. So I'm sorry if I'm a little jumbled. So, where was I? So there's a memorial for James on Sunday, May 29th. Good morning, Natasha. So Haze ended up forgiving me. I guess Kay Smalls talked to Haze, and then Haze started questioning also what happened to James, because the details are so weird, especially about his phone being left on the ground. Haze ended up in his live stream later on. He ended up praying for me, and I guess he's very Christian. He said that he wants me to post. He wants me to post his live streams now. He wants me to ask questions. Hey, April. And he ended up answering a bunch of my questions live time last night. And again, I wanted to post the video for you guys, but my phone doesn't have enough space for me to post the edited video of his live stream. But if you'd like, go check it out. It's Loophole Larry, I believe, is Haze's new channel. So I have his blessing, I have his permission. We cleared up the DM debacle. My first video about James Munder was on Friday, the day he died. That day I had been posting, updating my Patreon channel. I'm trying to build my channel because I just started like van life. I just, renovated a step van. So I'm like building up my Patreon channel to try to promote my new series. And on that Friday, before I found out James died, I was uploading a bunch of videos to my Patreon channel. And that had included old videos of James Munder that had been removed, and other videos of other truthers. And one of those truthers is Chalk Body Outline. He has another channel called Get Chalked Up, and he has been targeting me. And that was the man I was talking about who was in my DMs trying to date me, not James Munder. James Munder was never in my DMs. I don't know James personally. The only times I've communicated through James was through his YouTube channel, and I think he might have commented on some of my videos sometimes, because I did mirror his videos, and I was a heavy participant in his live streams before when he did have a huge channel. I was wrong. His channel was like over 200,000 subs before it was taken away. Hi, Tom. Sorry, I'm trying not to lose my train of thought because there's so much I want to say. So please forgive me if I don't acknowledge you in the chat. I love you all. I thank you for joining me. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to focus. So, okay. So yeah, I used to talk with James on his chats. Originally, I was Kimberly K. My actual straw man name is Kimberly K. Kim K. But I used to be Kimberly K on YouTube, and then I changed it to Aphrodite Rose Starfire. And then again, just recently, I had remembered about James. I actually had searched James throughout the 1.5, 2 years when he was gone, because I think he had like popped in and out of having channels. But I had like re-remembered him about a month ago, started watching his YouTube live streams again and participating, and I had actual premonition of him dying in a car accident. While I was watching him live stream, I think he was communicating with me through the beach sign behind his shoulder, because I'm Aphrodite. Yeah, so anyways, details on, this is what we know about the night of James's death, the night and the morning of. Okay, so he was at his house Apparently he had been live streaming to Discord or DLive, and Haze says that James had been arguing with his on and off girlfriend Marcy, and Haze actually played a voicemail on the house phone at James's house of Marcy saying, come pick me up. And then she hangs up and on that house phone leaves another voicemail saying, forget about it, I have a ride, don't come pick me up. So like the theory is that she called the house phone, James Am I back? What's the last thing you heard? Oh no. Okay, what was the last thing you heard? The theory is all right, let me get myself situated here again. I don't like that. My piles of trash. Did you know the best geniuses just have piles of things? All right, I'm gonna remove. Awesome. I'm gonna remove the jellyfish picture, so people won't accuse me of being a squid witch. Okay, hold on. Oh, we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll have some good vibes. Good hummingbird vibes. All right. We're back. You know a genius that's very neat? Well, yeah, we come in all kinds of flavors. So the theory is this is what we know. James was at the house. I guess he was live streaming to DLive, like Discord, and Haze says, I don't know if James was communicating with Haze at the time, but apparently James was fighting with Marcy. That was a common thing for him to fight with Marcy, his girlfriend, on and off girlfriend. The house phone James's house phone has a message on the voicemail from Marcy, 2 messages. One says, come pick me up, and then it hangs up, and then the other one says, I forget about it, I have a ride, don't come pick me up. I don't know if it says fuck you or I think it says like, you know, don't call me or leave me alone or something. So Haze thinks that riled James up, and he was on the house phone, put down the house phone, left his cell phone on the floor, and just ran out to go get her. Now, I think it's weird that Marcy called the house phone, because that means that maybe he wasn't answering his cell phone already. So maybe when she called the house phone, he was already gone. So the cell phone was left at home. Asking if James has a second cell phone, there was no second cell phone found on James, as far as we know. He did not bring his wallet. He did not have his wallet. He did not have his driver's license on him. He had his mother's driver's license on him in the car accident. he was live streaming. So people were saying, oh, they saw him pop 3 pills before he left. And I'm like, where is this live stream? How did you, is this still up? I don't, because when you go to his channel, it's like the last one was the Amber Heard Johnny Depp live stream. And people are like, no, it went private, or he deleted it. He took it down. And I'm like, well, is that really common for James to make things private? And people were saying it has been a little bit more common recently that he has done live streams and later made it private. I think that's really strange that his cell phone's at home, yet he was live streaming, and his he was able to make his stream private. Other thing is that somebody said that like while he was streaming, he said like gotta go, being tailed by feds. I have a screenshot of the comment that somebody said. That he said gotta go, being trailed by feds. Now I don't know how he sent that if he didn't have a cell phone on him. Like, how is he being tailed by feds in his car if he didn't have a cell phone on him? So it'd be very interesting to, if somebody recorded this live stream, if they can get access to this Discord D-Live exchange where he said he was being tailed by feds and he was taking the pills. He was hit by a Tesla. He was hit by a Tesla. James was going northbound on the 405 in his car. Apparently, people are assuming that he slowed down, and he was clipped by a Tesla. A Tesla ran into him. I guess it flipped over the car. The cause of death is blunt force trauma. The driver driving the Tesla walked away from the accident. I asked if he was screened for drugs and alcohol, if he was drunk. He said he doesn't think so. I mean, he thinks that they said he was fine because he walked away. He wasn't arrested, the driver of the Tesla. Haze did say the cops kind of wanted him to keep it hush-hush about the Tesla part. Also, so Haze is starting to question these things too, and he has been supportive. Yeah, it was a Tesla on the 405. People are saying James somehow communicated, I think on D-Live, that he was being trailed by feds, gotta go. He did not have his cell phone on him. He did not have his wallet, did not have his driver's license. He had his mother's driver's license on him. I guess that's that's uncommon for James, because with his history of being, you know, arrested and stuff, he wouldn't have been driving without his driver's license on him. What else? I asked if there was an autopsy done. Hayes said yes, but that's really fast for an autopsy. Usually the autopsy report takes a. I asked if a toxicology report was done. He said yes, but the report does not come out till Thursday. But all in all, because James was hit, like in California, anytime you're hit, it's like from behind. So what else? James was wearing his white bracelet. He has kind of like this cuff bracelet, and there was no blood on the bracelet. It is also very strange. People are talking about the footage that is on YouTube of James's body laying out of his vehicle. You can clearly see his face. They don't blur it out. It seems very deliberate that they wanted to show James's face and his body is dead. Even the footage, they later, it said like car accident 405. They later changed it, James Munder, death on 405. People are saying that they couldn't see any injuries on James. I thought I could see like his jaw right here was busted out. I could see a big kind of like impact into his, there was a cavity I could see here. But I didn't have the best, you know, photography, zoom media to analyze the photos, but I am in medicine, and it did seem to seem like he had trauma to his jawbone, lower jaw on the, no, I'm sorry, his lower jaw on the left hand side. Wait, yeah, he was like this, yeah. But I also saw his bracelet, and he had no blood on his bracelet. What else? So I think it's weird that he didn't have a cell phone. He said he was being tailed by feds, and he was able to make his live stream private where he was taking the pills. What are you guys saying? Yeah. It could have been staged for sure. They had his name immediately. His mother was here. All right. Also, I guess he never put the name of the house, his mother's house, who passed away, was never put in his name. So it was still in his mother's name. So the house actually next of kin is Gino. So because the mother was married to Gino, the next of kin, the inheritance goes to Gino. It didn't go to James because James didn't switch the name. The house didn't go into James' name. So there's that. I guess I'll give you the background of what Haze answered my questions about his past and his history. So this is what Haze told me. I asked Haze when he flew in, when he landed in LA. He said he landed in LA Saturday at noon, I believe. He said he left Florida like 5 a.m. Saturday. And I guess Haze in Florida to come. So the car accident, James' car accident was 4 a.m. Friday morning, and I guess Haze showed up Saturday around noon. Haze says that he has a $15 million settlement because he was run over by a truck when they were rebuilding the World Trade Center. So Haze is tied to the World Trade Center. He's very Christian, but he also said he doesn't kill anymore. He doesn't steal. It seems like he had a dark past. He's been in prison. He knows all the cops. He gets along with the cops. So he has this $15 million settlement. He says his teeth cost $100,000. I'm assuming that was restoration from him getting run over by the truck. He did show his scars. He has, I think, a part of his leg missing and his thigh. He has scars on both legs, and he has scars on his abdomen. He says he never has to work again. He moved down to Florida. He says he bought a block. He owns a block in Florida, just like the Monopoly Man. But he's asking for a GoFundMe. There's been a GoFundMe set up for James and Gino. But again, I guess the house will go to Gino. So I guess Haze became James' best friend 3 years ago when James had his YouTube channel stripped away from him. He was arrested. I think he might have been interrogated by the feds or something. So the big thing happened. There's this other person that Haze wants me to go after named Trish Ash. And Haze says that this Trish Ash person called LA cops and had a, what do they call it, goodwill check on Gino. And this was all through comments on my video. Trish Ash threatened with lawyers Haze for going through James's things And Haze says that this Trish Ash person sent cops over to the house. They questioned Gino, asking like, who is Haze? Gino told him like, I called Haze. Haze is James's best friend, blah, blah, blah. Cops said, okay, everything's good. So Haze was pretty mad at this Trish Ash person and thought that they were like a longtime sub of mine. This Trish Ash person is a new sub to me from the whole James Munder's death. And reading their comment, they said that they offered James Munder a YouTube package deal with having his own daily show, set him up in a house, 3-bedroom house in Arizona with a full media studio, editing equipment, 1 personal assistant with a pool, like a YouTube setup where he was supposed to have a daily news show like he was doing and a nightly Munder After Dark, occasional nightly show. And that, and he said that was going to get James clean, and he was giving James this like his dream job on a silver platter, but Haze came in and took James to Florida. So this Trish Ash person is saying that Haze ruined James's life and took away his dream, and basically he said, this Trish Ash person said that James would have stayed clean if he moved to Arizona and took this YouTube deal. So I asked this Trish Ash person if they are like, do they work for YouTube? Like how do like that's an awesome offer. Like, hi Genevieve. Like that's an awesome offer for James. Like, I wonder why he didn't take it. And so I asked this person, this Trish Ash person, do you work for YouTube? Like, how are you able to arrange this? So I don't know if they responded. What else? So I guess James went to, so James was in Las Vegas, I think with his dad, Gino. They were having some financial difficulties getting along. James's mother died. And then James, I think James maybe went to Florida first to see Haze, and then I think James knew Haze first and went to Florida and stayed with Haze for a while in Florida. Haze bought him a laptop, and then James had to use Haze's Apple ID to do anything on the computer, because all of James's technology links were corrupted. Like, he had been cut off from anything by the government. So so then James's mother dies. He couldn't afford to have the house payments on his own, so he moves his dad in with him into the house, in his mother's house in Redondo Beach in LA, I guess to help, cover the cost of the house. And so yeah, I think that's where it was. But he never put the house in the house didn't go into James' name. It was still under his mother's name. So I guess it's going to go to probate court and go to Gino or something. I don't know. But what else? There was some more stuff. So yeah, there's a GoFundMe set up for, I guess, the funeral. There's a memorial service on Sunday, the 29th, probably at Manhattan Beach, I guess, likely where James Munder held his memorial for his mother. Please get in contact with, I think, Tiffany, knows the details. So I guess Haze is pretty close with Sherelle, who was in Florida. And I guess I think Haze wanted James to move back out to Florida, and away from Marcy. Like, he didn't like Marcy, because I guess Marcy was keeping James in the drug habits. But I think it's all super sus still. The fact that James said he was being tailed by feds. There was evidence of him taking pills, but now that's gone. He was hit by a Tesla. That's like ding, 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 ding. Like, and that's all like kind of prophetic right now, what's going on with his Tupac posts. Tesla is being, you know, like tied in right now with all of like the you know, Elon Musk and kind of the C takeover. And that's tied with the Tupac's Return remix is from the Big C over in across the ocean. So the Trish Ash person that supposedly offered James this YouTube dream job. I went to their channel and they don't have any videos. I think they might have like 8 subs, like very low like amount of subs. They have no content, but their background photo is CERN. I'm like, CERN? So yeah, lots of people in the chat last night in Haze's chat were like, I was being blocked from speaking. And then finally when they let me talk and I was asking Haze all these questions that nobody's asking, like, when did you fly in? Was there a toxicology report? Was there an autopsy? What about the other driver? Like, nobody's asking these questions. So I was asking these questions last night to Haze, and he was answering them. Like, granted, he was answering them, like, gracefully, honestly. I mean, it seemed honestly. I have no idea. He seems like he's had quite a colorful past with many, many connections of people in power. And the whole World Trade Center thing, like anything tied to the World Trade Center. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, when I was talking to Haze on his live stream, people started commenting like they're making biscuits and gravy, and they were talking about cooking sausage. And I thought that was weird, and some other people were like, is this code? So like I was kind of asking about the cops, and people were talking about cooking. Like it was like when it was kind of like people thought I was like coming over to Haze's side, and they're like, oh, the sausage is great, the gravy, yummy gravy. And that's like all like code words, so I don't know what that was about. Like it seemed like people were like feeling, oh, we're winning her over with the story. I don't know. But I told Haze, like, he's like, are we cool? Are we cool? I'm like, I don't know what cool means, but I'm still gonna ask questions. Like, you know, we all, you know, James is like a targeted individual, and you guys were all just like, oh, you know, he took pills. Like, yeah, you know, he's live streaming. The person who's like, you know, waiting to do the hit, like, okay, now's the perfect time. Everybody just saw him take pills. Let's take him out. They won't know a thing. Like, hello, like, have we watched CSI before? Like, come on, people. Yeah, there was an autopsy done, but it was very fast. I don't know how. I don't think that it was like one of the autopsies that the family requests. I think it's one of the autopsies that they just automatically do, and usually those are pretty sloppy and quick, unless you the family requests an autopsy by like, you know, like an in-depth like coroner medical examiner type thing. They're all backlogged and stuff, so it's a car accident, you know, he died on scene. The autopsy is probably going to be pretty sloppy, probably quick. I don't know, like, you know, they weigh organs usually, but you know, there's certain levels of the in-depth of how much they'll study the body, but for the mere fact that he went into the coroner's office on Friday and was ready to leave on Sunday, probably it wasn't the best. They do toxicology, but that usually, Haze said Thursday. That's probably for the baseline tox, because I know for like advanced tox screens, and usually you have to request those. They don't just automatically do like advanced like tox screens, like screening for arsenic or screening for, you know, exotic like lead and that kind of thing. Like they don't do those things unless there's like a suspicion usually, and those kinds of toxicology screens can take like sometimes like 3 weeks, like a month to get back, and the results get back, and then the pathology, the coroner's office has to type the report, and the report part takes a long time too. So Haze doesn't have a live stream. Yeah, he does. He took it down. He had 2 live streams, I think. Yeah, I recorded the live streams. I have the edited one where he's scolding me. I can't upload it right now. I don't have enough storage on my phone. I need to go to the library and unload some videos, and then I can upload it. Yeah, so you guys have any, what do you guys think? Sorry, I'm gonna look at your do you have shoulders on? Do you have shoulders or sloping shoulders? I know the difference between. John Quinton, what are you asking? Are you asking about my shoulders? What? Case closed before identifying the body. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. I don't know how they, it's like the cops like identified the body because they all were talking about James Munder, and well, you guys, you have to know that things have changed dramatically with the whole system in LA specifically, and in general across the country with the deaths since, you know, Corona. So if it's like a, you know, slam dunk, oh, car accident, died on scene, then they won't put a lot of effort into it unless somebody is, you know, putting a fire on their ass. And I don't think that's happening. Nobody is really, yeah, James would want us to question. It's not weird that he got injured. Girl, you're nuts. Sad all the way around. Clutch just posted a video about on the Corey Barb. Okay. I thought it was kind of interesting how religious Haze it got about Jesus. It seems like there's like, I'm gonna get a little off topic of Munder, but I mean it is. But there's like this huge push right now to give your name to Jesus. I want to say that there's a big difference between Lord and Christ consciousness. Okay, like pledging your soul to Lord Jesus Christ is different than believing in Christ. Believing in the miracle of Christ is different than repenting to your Lord. Lord is landlord. Lord is, and it's like, I think that there's this one last ditch grab to get souls to commit, to like sign their name to the Lord right before we get taken out. And I just want you guys to know, like, you can believe in Christ, you can believe in the miracle of Christ, and not repent to the Lord. If you believe in the miracle of Christ, then you don't need to repent because Jesus already did it for you. You believe. If you're repenting, then that means you don't believe. If you repent, if you feel like you have to repent for things that you do wrong, that you're doing things wrong, then you don't believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sin. His death He erased the sin. So if you're still repenting and you're pointing out the sins of others, then, and I don't think Jesus Christ would have wanted anybody to pledge their everlasting soul to him. That's why he did what he did, is so that nobody would have to make those pledges anymore. So don't pledge your soul to anything. You can believe in Christ. You can fulfill this little, like, it's like a little trick. It's like a little, it's a bait and switch. That's what it is. It's like a fear tactic, bait and switch. But you can fulfill it. You can believe that it happened. You can, like so many people are talking about, I believe it happened. Like, I believe there was this guy and they put him on a cross, and, you know, and I believe that that guy believed that he was dying for everybody's sin. But I don't need to pledge my soul to a Lord. That's what Jesus didn't want you to do. So, like, there's like a collector of souls, and they want you to, like, be collected. And it's like this, mind fuck, because in actuality, the miracle of Christ was that you live your life as Christ. So you don't have sin, that you can experience life, be in the flesh, and not have to pay for every movement that you make. You know? So I'll get off my soapbox. Can we talk about something else? Yeah. A sin is a sin is a sin. Okay. All right. Well, Jesus didn't think so. Jesus erased the 10 Commandments. He nailed the 10 Commandments to his cross. Did you know they killed Jesus for breaking the 10 Commandments? Did you know that? He didn't want to stone the girl. He didn't want to stone the whore. The 10 Commandments said you had to stone the whore. Jesus said, no, I'm breaking the law. Fuck your laws. 10 Commandments, no bueno. It makes it so you can't ever succeed. You're always repenting. You're always sinning and asking forgiveness. That's the whole point of what Jesus did, was so you don't have to experience that. So, yeah, so I don't know how far this investigation is going to go. I guess we'll hear back when Haze gets the toxicology report. Yeah. I doubt we'll, like, find anything on the autopsy about the condition of his organs or anything like that. It didn't look like the Tesla had been blown up or anything like that. The Tesla was just flipped over. I did think, though, you know, the Teslas glitch out when they get shine the light straight into it. So if there was, like, a laser being shot into, like, the viewpoints of the oncoming traffic, because that's when the Teslas glitch out, is when they have, like, this, like, the automatic pilot is when they have the sun shining directly, like, into its camera. So, like, if there was, like, a laser being shot at the Tesla and James, like, but James was hit. He did communicate that he was being trailed by feds, gotta go. Didn't have his cell phone, yet he was able to delete and make his streams private. Marcy, so I don't know, I guess there was not 2 cell phones, there's just 1 cell phone. I don't know why, it's weird that he would get in a car to drive without his wallet and without a cell phone, especially if he's going to pick up Marcy. Like, usually if you're going to go pick somebody up, if they're, like, kind of on the drug addict side, they're going to wander around. So you, like, want to have a phone, like, hey, where'd you go? Like, I'm here now, like, come outside, you know, like, So yeah. Hi, Jacob. That's not what somebody said on Natasha. Where's his life? How does it, people said that the day he was popping the pills, it was a different night. Marlene, Hayes said that they did do an autopsy, but that does it does make I'm pretty familiar with the process, and that's pretty fast for them to do an autopsy. So I agree with you that usually if there's obvious blunt force trauma, like dead on the scene, unless an autopsy is requested by the family, they won't do one. And especially since James is not suspected as being cause of the accident because he was hit. So like I said, it's always fault of the person that was that ran into the car. So it would be the Tesla's fault. So usually if they already know the fault, they're not going to spend money to investigate unless the family is asking them to. I don't know if there's a wrongful death. There's going to be a wrongful death suit filed against the driver of the Tesla. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any kind of vehicular manslaughter or anything. I guess the investigation is still going, but they're getting on 26. So maybe they changed their mind about the autopsy. Because the first they were going to release the body on Sunday, if I wasn't mistaken. Sunday or Monday. So is there a reason why they're holding on it longer? Or maybe they're just holding on to it because Hayes wants them to hold on to it until the funeral. He's being cremated? Yeah. I'm not surprised. Yeah, it doesn't, usually to do an autopsy, it takes a little longer. Service is Sunday. Yeah, I heard the memorial. I don't know if the funeral is Sunday. I heard a memorial service is Sunday. Yeah. And Manhattan Beach was chosen End Times Harbinger. Look up personal testimony. Jonathan Kleck is a loser. Did James like Jonathan Kleck? I don't think so. I'll expecting to hear from you later, darling. James family Catholic? Seems like they're Italian. Is that why he had new stuff in Las Vegas? He's Italian. Hi, Lionheart. Yeah. So I have to say, from the get-go, a lot of people in James's live streams, even from when I first started watching him in 2017, a lot of people in his live streams are agents, and they're nasty troll agents. And it's I've noticed that some YouTubers keep these, they actually invite these agent type people into their lives. It seemed like he shared his phone number with these people that are always in his live streams, these regulars, people that go on live streams often. They have these regulars that are always in the live streams, and a lot of these regulars are agents. They're actually YouTube employees with stock accounts, and it's their job to be on James Munder's live stream and to steer the conversation. And it's either usually to praise the creator, the content creator, or to poke at them, to troll them so that they respond and give you content. But I've noticed even when I was back at Kimberly K, that the people in it, the regulars in his live streams would not engage with me. They were cliquey. Very cliquey, what are you doing here? You don't, very inside jokes, they have their inside jokes that they say to each other. And James was very antagonistic with a lot of these people that were his regulars. like this like love-hate relationship he seemed to have with a lot of people in his life, like this toxic exchange where there's a lot of like sarcastic banter. But so it's like a lot of these people that are saying that they're his friends, these other YouTube people that are like, you lost my, yeah, like Little Bear, who's like pushing Jonathan Kleck and stuff. It's like, what's your agenda? Like, why, like, just like Haze last night going into like preaching about Jesus and all that. Yeah, everybody has the right to believe what they choose, but it seems like there's these people that hover around channels like James Munder. They were regulars, and now they're like the friends of James Munder that are coming and like, how dare you talk about James, my friend? I was in his live streams every day. You didn't know him. I knew him. I don't know you. How dare you speak about my friend? And it's like, what kind of friend are you if you're not even questioning his death? Like, why are you in here pushing Jonathan Kleck? Like again, these like end time like people that are trying to get you to like pledge your soul over. Like I think the agents are still working. I think you guys all are like, you know, super like, you know, and I see it. So I don't care if you have my respect, if you have respect for me or not. Like, I'm asking questions. This James's death is funky as fuck, okay? Like, he was hit by a Tesla, 369 Tesla. He put Tupac's, like, Monkeypox, Tupac's remix. Like, all of this is going down right now. Like, the meetings at Davos, like, it all is happening at the same time now. Like, the V's are approved for kids, and people are going down to their dumbs. You know, you're pushing Jonathan Kleck in here, like, you know, you can't shame me, okay? You can't shame me for exposing the truth. I'm doing what James Munder did, okay? I'm extending his legacy, okay? So, yeah, if things keep coming up, I'm going to keep asking questions. I think it's super weird. I think it's weird how buddy-buddy the cops are. You know, I think James was super targeted, and it was a perfect opportunity for him to get taken out. And it's pretty fucked up that I'm the only one that's pushing these questions along. Like, all you guys are like all you buddies are like circle jerking, like, oh, we're so sad about James. We're so sad about James. Like, okay, like, and shaming me for asking questions. Yeah, that's why like everybody blocked me while in Haze's live stream and started talking about sausage and gravy and all that crap. Yeah. I think everybody needs to get off their high horse. And you know, like James shamelessly had his Cash App up there. He talked about people that died. He talked about World Trade Center, conspiracy theories. He talked about all kinds of things. So, you know, I'm not going to be like, oh, we can't talk about that. Oh, it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. Oh, it's too soon. No. And I think it's super weird that you can see his body on YouTube. Like, when's the last time you were able to, like, just, like, watch, like, dead bodies on YouTube? Marlene, there's, like, it's a orchestrated takeout. Hi, Dada. Not nice people to mark people's sorrow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, James would want, what do you think? James would want a bunch of phonies saying, we're so sad, I've been crying all night. Every time I see Gina's face, I can't stop crying. And then you forget about him next week? Or would you rather somebody is like, hey, who's this guy going through James stuff? Hey, what about what happened in the accident? Did anybody like see if James was taking drugs? Was a talk screen done? Hey, what about the driver? Oh, it was a Tesla? Like, how long did it take to find out that it was a Tesla? Like 3-4 days? You know, and everybody's blaming this Marcy chick. It's like, I don't think Marcy got into a Tesla and hit James on the 405 freeway. Okay, Marcy was calling the house phone, so that means James didn't have his cell phone on him or he wasn't answering it. But if he was going out to get Marcy, don't you think he would have answered the cell phone if she was calling? So that means when she was calling the house, he was probably already out of the house with his cell phone at home. So I'd be really interested in knowing like the time frames of when he was live streaming to when he cut off. And but all that is private. I guess that got taken down. So I guess we'll never know. But honestly, I don't think we would have known this much if I hadn't been asking the questions, because everybody just wants to give each other thumbs up about, you know, how much they're grieving with each other. Like, so anyways, I've had a lot of people die in my life, you know, and it's like you honor them by honoring their memory and finding out what happened to them, because I think something wrong happened here. I think people were wronged. I think James was telling us for the longest time that people are attacking him. And I think it was people close to him, and I think he was surrounded by vultures. I think you surround yourself, like a lot of these people are like, they're like literally cockroaches. Like they have like this like tech, like always like texting, like yeah. Because his exchanges with the people that always like call him and text him while he's live streaming, it wasn't really healthy exchange. It's not like he's like, ooh, this person, ooh, like, oh, I want to talk to them. You'd be like, shut the fuck up, stop calling me. I don't know. Yeah. I hope people feel sorrow when you die. Okay, Abigail. Haze is here, ask him. Oh, Haze is in here? Oh, hey, Haze. What's up? Haze, I was trying to load, no, Abigail, I'm just not fake. I'm not fake. I didn't know James personally. I knew him through YouTube. Okay, so I'm not going to fake cry on your... You want me to be like the news? You want me I can't stop. I miss him so much. No tears. Like the news, like people seem to buy that shit now, like, because that's all I see on the news. It's like fake crying, and like they don't even have to like fake. There's like dry. All they have to do is go like this, and people are like, oh, you have to feel sorry for them. Oh, how dare you question their sorrow? How dare you? You witch. You don't even care. Where's your heart? They're crying. Can't you see they're crying? What are you? You have no fucking soul? Yeah. I'm not going to be manipulated. Okay? I have a connection with my soul to people, like, especially around when they die. And I think that's why it was called to James. I had been, it's so stupid, like, what people think is authentic and what isn't authentic, you know? Like, obviously, just by my fucking effort, I'm authentic. Like, I'm possessed? Yeah, okay. You seem disturbed. You can be kind and not fake. Your mockery is gross. Okay. Yeah, no, people just accept like this fake crying, like this, like, you know, like, oh, I've been crying all night. Every time I see Gino's face, I just cry for hours. Like, come on. Like, everybody knew James as a sarcastic, you know, he's a jokester, you know. You might cry for a minute, but you're not crying every time you see Gino's face, okay? Like, these YouTube people are just a bunch of fake phonies. I think a bunch of them work for YouTube. I'm sure you guys cried more when Bubba died. Oh, hey, Melissa. What is up, Haze? Yeah, so Haze, sorry. I did edit your live stream from yesterday. I can't upload it because my phone doesn't have enough storage. You know, those nasty gremlins. Melissa. Hi, Simon for Heart Heroes. Yeah, so you know, people are like accusing me of like making money off of James. I have gotten a lot of new subs off of this. Thank you. But I am doing work on it, like a lot of work that nobody else is doing about investigating what happened. Yeah, hey, it's like, was there an autopsy done? Like an actual, like, extended autopsy where they weigh his organs and all of that? Or was it just, you know, they saw it was blunt force trauma and then, because a lot of times if they die on scene, they don't do an extended. Hey, it's like I said, I respect you, like, for answering my question. Like, so I don't know if people just joined, like, I'm not going to repeat myself, but I did say a lot, like, before this. So please, like, when this ends, like, watch from the beginning. Thursday, I know you said the toxicology report, but usually autopsy is not done unless you request it. And that would be when they weigh the organs and they could actually see if he had like long-term like drug abuse, or maybe if he was, if he had any kind of strange hemorrhaging in his body that would signal that he was exposed to some kind of like toxin suddenly. But yeah, they usually don't do, especially in LA, you know, they're busy. They're not going to do an autopsy on somebody that died on scene for an accident that, you know, wasn't their fault. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, even if they did do an autopsy and like find out, you know, it's not like the cops are going to do some investigation into like the conspiracy of a Tesla, like aiming at James, you know, like of course that's never going to happen. But all we can do is ask questions and put that seed of like, hey, it's not, oh, he just took some pills, was running after his girlfriend and got in a car accident on the freeway because he was looking for his phone. I think it's way more complicated than that. And I think there was maybe some kind of setup that happened here. Yeah. So so yeah, I do think it was weird that I saw that James had another account on YouTube called James Munder, just James Munder, that wasn't Munderground News. And that had been set up, it was March 11th of this year. At first I thought like, oh, because he like doubled, tripled his subs after he died on his Munderground News. I think right when he died, his subs were right over 800, like 850. And now they're like 2,000, 2.6 thousand or something like that. Oh, you're amazing, Lissa. So yeah, then yesterday when I was searching his name, I saw there was another account that said James Munder. I was like, oh, I didn't know about this, because it did not pop up when I was searching for James like a month ago. So there's this other account, James Munder, that had other videos of James, but it was made March 11th of this year. At first I was like, wait, was this set up after he died and they're just loading videos up? And no, it was before he died. But it's very strange, like his look, because in this new James Munder channel with, there's a good amount of videos. He's very gaunt looking, like skinny. And then like the live streams that I was in, where I've posted, where I was chatting with him, he looked healthy and people were commenting on how nice his hair looked. It was very strange how he was able to change his appearance so drastically in such a short period of time. Because it was like the videos on the James Munder was like a month ago. It was like the same time, but like he looks like he weighs like 40 pounds, 50 pounds less. Yeah, like clones, Janice twins. Janice City Channel still up. Henry Harange. Oh, I didn't know about that. No, but Haze, there's another YouTube channel that's just called James Munder. And again, like I said, that did not pop up for me when I searched for him when he was still alive like a month ago. Yeah, so I would like to find out more about this Trish Ash person. Like I said, they had a CERN background on their YouTube channel. And like, do they work? How are they able to offer James this awesome deal with a house in Arizona? Like, do they work for YouTube? Abigail, I don't think you know what real tears look like. Yeah. James cried real tears when his dog died. Like, I remember crying for that. Like, it's one thing when you see somebody going through it's easier to cry for somebody when they're crying. Like when you're watching somebody and their dog just died and they're crying, like it makes you feel like when you lost your dog. But if somebody, like James died, I don't see anybody crying. I see people talking about crying. I guess Haze cried a little bit, but you know, like, I'm just saying, like, it's easier to get like an empathetic reaction with somebody when they're crying with you than it is just to like, I don't know. I felt with James when Bubba died. I felt with him because he was going through it. I don't see James going through it right now because he's dead. So, but yeah, I have questions, and I'm not going to be like, I just despise this shaming bullshit that like I'm being heartless by asking questions. And this happened because you know what? I asked questions about people that die. And that's what I was saying when I started crying, because the thoughts go in and out of my head. But I have this connection around people that are going to die. They come into my head, I think, because like time doesn't exist, and it's like I get into like the sphere of influence around the time of their death, and it's like they already died, but it's like I'm having the memory of their death before it happens, and I feel drawn to their energy, and I was, see it now, it's making me cry. And I felt that with James, and I still feel that now. About a month ago, I was like, I had kept remembering James, and I'm like, oh, I just, he pops in my head, and I'm like, what happened to him? Like, 'cause it was that Peter Chantilly's, like, for the sake of Peter Chantilly. Like, I just loved his phrases, but, because, like, I'm sarcastic like that, too. I think it's a Chicago, is he from Chicago? Is he have ties in Chicago? I think I sense a Chicago sense of humor in James. But I felt like, oh, I'm like, did he die? Like, I'm like, did he die? And so I'm searching for him, and I'm like, oh, Underground News. I'm like, there's like, I think there was like 200 subs. There was like 250 subs or something. So I subbed it, and it was like he was still live streaming. And you know what I don't understand is, like, sometimes these people, they have more people watching their live streams than they do subs. It's like, how are people finding these live streams and they're not even subbing to the channel? It's like, how can you have every live stream be 200, 300 views, but then you only have 200 subs? Like, I don't understand that. So I found him, and I'm like, oh, cool. And so I started watching his videos, and it's like, you know, the memories are flashing back, you know, like, I remember Sherelle and Bubba, and his mom died, and I'm like, just looking at this sign that says beach, you know, beach. And I'm like, you know, I'm Aphrodite, and, you know, and if you don't know, like, the goddess of love and beauty come from the beach. Aphrodite means foam, the rising foam. So he has this big sign that says beach, and oh my god, and it's communicating with me, and I'm like, so I'm like over here watching his live stream, and I'm kind of like remembering how he is, and like he's, you know, saying his sayings, and he's like, starts talking about girlfriends and ex-girlfriends, and, you know, get the fuck out of here, and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, like, he's toxic. He has that toxicity, and he surrounds himself with toxic people. And I get that. But it's like this, it's like he made this deal with the devil for the drugs. Because James was a truther, so he knew all the bullshit. He knew all the lies and the bullshit and the Masons and the feds and all the layers, the SRA. But it's like he knew about it, but he had to dip his toe into it because he wanted to still have access to the drugs, and he still needed to make money, and he still, you know, he made his way through the media and stuff. You have to have connections through that, and those type of people are not, you know, they're not the best people. So it's like this balance act where, you know, these people are toxic, but you want that drug, or you need that access through that person, so you have to deal with their toxic bullshit. So it's like he was constantly surrounded by this slime of people in his chat room, people that were calling his phone. So, but something was like drawing me to him. Like, something was like, it was this beach sign. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember this kind of toxic stuff. And I'm like watching him, and I'm like thinking about how I thought he died, and I'm picturing him in his car, and I think he's like, he got in a, like, I was watching him live stream with the beach, and I'm like, I was thinking about him dying in a car accident. Not a car accident, I was just picturing him in his car dying, like maybe passing out, like, and I remember looking at the beach sign and kind of like napping it out of my head and being like, you know, like I'm being indulged, like I'm like being a, like I was like, you know, why are you thinking about people dying? Like, don't think about that. Like are you, you know, like, you're kind of sick, like fantasizing about somebody dying. But I'm watching him, and I'm like thinking like he's on borrowed time, like oh, I was kind of glad to see him because I thought he had died, but to find him still alive live streaming. But it was like I was still feeling that. And I didn't forget about him. I kept watching him, and because of that beach sign. And then here we go, like, I still, he died, and it's like in a car, and it's like, and now I still feel like this energy of justice. Like there's, like there needs to be some justice. But yeah, I mean, I work in medicine. I did vascular surgery for 4 years, and I've worked in oncology with chemotherapy patients for years, 3-4 years. So I'm around people that die a lot, and I make special connections with people that die. I usually can tell people that are gonna die. So I think James was taken out as a signal, maybe a siren. I don't know if you noticed, but all of like the prepper people are like, you know, saying it's over, the end is near, like you need to be buying everything, you need to be spending all your money now, you need to be stocking up, you need to be going to your deep underground bases. The Tupac's remix is out. The V's are being distributed to the kids now. The food supply is running out. This new law is being dealt over the land, and somehow this person is just got taken out by a Tesla. And Tesla is tied to all this. I don't know if you guys know, but scroll down. I posted recently Deja Vu 369 Tesla. Like that was the name of my video. Because I had this coincidence with the numbers on my phone and Tesla. It was 369 and then 420. Yeah. So so yeah, I don't really expect much to come out of this. Like I said, like I'm almost certain there was fishy business going on, and there was agents just waiting for the right moment. James doesn't seem to be like the type to be as James seemed to be the kind of guy that it would be hard for him to lie to your face without you knowing. I don't know. I don't know him personally, but he doesn't strike me as somebody that would be able to carry out faking his death like that. I'm just thinking of out of the box options. Like maybe James was an actor all along, and this was his final act, was to stage his death, and he's really still alive. Like, I do think that the footage of the wreck was weird, how his body was, and that his face was so perfectly visible, and like there was no, like I did think I could see something on his face, but I don't think that James was the type of like actor or anything that could pull that off. Excuse me. And the 405, like that's like a huge freeway to get shut down. That's like 6 lanes, 7 lanes, giant freeway in LA. So it's like a big event that they did it on the freeway like that. It's not like they did it on some side street. Oh, I also wanted to bring in the satanic ritual abuse. Nobody's talking about that. And I just had the realization that SRA, satanic ritual abuse, is the same as Aphrodite Rose Starfire, the same initials, ARS, SRA. But I wanted to find if Haze is still in the chat, if he ever talked to you about his dealings with that child care center when he was a kid that had the SRA, the satanic ritual abuse, in it. Because it's the people that are involved in that are heavily fractured and are like Manchurian candidates. And that's also being talked about along with in conjunction, like Flora Byrne was bringing up Manchurian candidates with the Tupac's remix. Oh, and I heard that Obama is supposed to get taken out via head wound. Interesting, head wound, blunt force trauma. Obama is going to get taken out June. Sorry. Was it June 4th or 5th? June 4th. And then rise again in 3 days. Is Rose Hannah was she does the gematria. She was prophesizing that she's and that's in line right now with the I Pet Goat prophecy, with the fumbling of Bush. You know, in I Pet Goat, it's like Bush goes, he morphs into Obama in the classroom, and Bush just did a gaffe recently by calling Ukraine Iraq. And it was like an obvious gaffe. So it's like he's gaffing on purpose to meet the I Pet Goat, and now Obama's being brought into the picture again. So all of this is like, it's like around Pentecost, and so there might be, I do know if somebody takes out Obama, like, people are gonna go ape shit. Like, people are, have a mind control connection to Obama. I did before my awakening. And I know back then, like back when I lived in San Francisco, if somebody had assassinated Obama, I would have flipped out. So if that happens, people are going to flip. And then he's going to rise again in 3 days from the mortal head wound. So I think James is connected to this. His last name looks like murder. Red rum, Munder, murder. Red rum, red rum. The Shining, it's all about The Shining. Stephen King. The Cell, Flora Byrne brought up The Cell. That's a Stephen King. James looks like a dead ringer for John Cusack, even though John Cusack is a tranny. James wasn't a tranny. I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this all has to do with the frequency. And you know, they clone the Hollywood stars after us. So I wouldn't be surprised if James was like some stock of DNA. Because I know I'm stock of DNA. Like they take from my DNA and make people. So yeah. I just thought it was so funny because James is such an archetype. Like he's like the archetype of so many boyfriends I've had. Like the black spike hair, and that's like looks like it's kind of wet all the time. Kind of like the black sunglasses, California, sarcastic, maybe at a rock show, making fun of everybody. Like it's like the John Cusack. Lane from, was it Say Anything, where he's holding the boombox. Who else is like that? Not Nick Cage. John Cusack. I'll be right back. Ugh. So I've had a lot of ex-boyfriends that look like James. Look, this is my first ex-boyfriend. He kind of looks like James. My first boyfriend, Kyle. You think he looks like James? It's like so many guys from our oh, that's something I talked about with James too. Is like we're Y2K. Like what happened to Y2K? Everybody talks about baby boomers and Gen X, but like Y2K, like the Y2K, that's where we are. We were in high school when 9/11 happened. Like I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened. Like all of this stuff went down. Y2K, like the year 2000 when it was all supposed to switch over and the world was going to end. But Generation Y, like Clueless, Alicia Silverstone, like we're now like lumped into like millennials. It's like, no, I'm not a millennial. I'm a Y2K. I'm not Gen X. I'm not a millennial. Like I didn't use the internet like until the internet was not like Googleable until maybe 8th grade, 7th grade. And even still, I didn't have a cell phone until I was a junior in high school, like 17 years old. And that was a Nokia, like a brick. So, Y2K. Generation Y2K is the forgotten generation. All right, guys, I'm going to cut this now. It's been real emotional. Thank you all to everybody who's participated. Thank you, Haze, for your answering all the questions so gracefully. I will try to upload the edited videos from Haze if I can later today. Yeah, so we're remembering James Munder. I hope you guys keep this skepticism in your heads and don't just like accept people die. Like people are gonna, I think, start dying a lot, and don't accept the story. All right, love you, bye.